Hello there, friends. My name is Rose, and today I'm here to talk about the different kinds of brands that humans can get. Um, Obviously, there is going to be some graphic content in this video, so if you don't like photos of burned human flesh, this is not the video for you. When people think about branding, often the first thing that comes to mind is what we in the branding community called strike branding. Now, this is what was traditionally done to cows. It's where you have a metal piece in the form of the design you want, you put it in the fire, and then you press it onto the skin. A pro of strike brands is, at least in my experience, they create a very thick, defined scar, and you can do a strike brand very fast. It literally takes seconds to press it into the skin, retract it, and then you're done. You walk out of the studio. There are a lot of cons to strike branding. It is very hard to control the brand. If you don't apply that pressure evenly on the skin, all of the areas of this design will not be burned evenly. And there's a risk of, if it's on there for even a second too long, you could be getting the kind of burns that would put you in the hospital. Also, if you think about it, this isn't going to work anywhere in your body where your skin isn't basically perfectly flat. Strike brands are not good for intricate brands. They can only do very simple, kind of thick designs. And to do a strike brand, like people usually think of a strike brand, you have to basically have someone who can custom forge a piece of equipment just for that brand. So this is prohibitively expensive for most people. Lots of people have attempted to strike brand themselves at home, at frat parties. Please don't do this. This is something that is dangerous, and you could literally lose a part of your body or even your life if things go wrong. So please don't ever try and brand yourself with an item that was intended to brand animals or an item that was intended as a decorative item. I do have strike brands. My strike brands were done in little baby sections. So basically, the piece of metal that was used to brand me in the studio was only a couple centimeters long. So they would put it in the fire, brand my skin, back in the fire, brand my skin, and do these whole brands in little, basically 2 centimeter sections. I'm extremely happy with the results. I'm extremely happy that the artist that did these was able to do them so evenly, was able to apply the pressure for the same amount of time, every time, the same duration every time. These came out very even, and I am just delighted with them. If you look at this day of picture, you can actually see the little lines between each individual 2 centimeter application of the tool. Another popular kind of branding is cautery branding. One advantage of cautery brands is that they're very easy to control. Compared to strike brands, you can get finer lines and sharper edges. Of course, it's not fine lines, sharp edges compared to tattoos, but fine line, sharp edges compared to strike brands. A cautery brand is free-handed by the artist, so you can create any kind of design without having to have special equipment manufactured. Cons of strike brands, cons of cautery brands, at least in my experience, is the scar is not as pronounced. And if you are not someone who scars very aggressively like me, you may be inclined to go towards irritation. I know there's a big debate about irritation right now. I'm going to make another video about that, but I actually did irritate this here strike brand that we're looking at. And why did I say strike brand? I did actually irritate this here cautery brand that we're looking at in the picture. I kept that open for 3 months. So what is a cautery pen? It's a medical tool invented to control blood loss during surgery. The artist actually pushes the tip of this pen, which is kind of like a knife, into your skin and drags it through your skin. It melts your skin away as you go. And actually, when they pull it away from your skin, Your skin stretches out like when you pull apart two pieces of pizza and you get those long strings of melted cheese. Also, when I was getting my cautery brand done there, when they would pull the pen away, there would be like a long string of my melted skin. Walking out of the studio, a cautery brand appears white and indented. That skin has just been melted away, and there's no blood, there's no ash, it's just gone. Notice here how my cautery brand and my strike brand are very different. You might not notice this from a few feet away, but when you get up close, you see that the strike brand has widened more, it is thicker. The cautery brand has not widened, it is thinner. So if I could go back and get my whole body done again, I would probably get this body line done as a strike brand again, because I like the strike brand result more. My first brand was a cautery brand, and I just love how it turned out. It's small, it's delicate, it's beautiful, and I had a great experience. So I have a lot of love in my heart for this little cautery brand. Next up after cautery is electro cautery. So this also uses a pen-like tool, but this time the pen is connected by a cable to a machine that runs electricity through that pen. So the artist pushes that pen into your skin and it electrocutes you. And basically, because when you're electrocuted, the water in your skin just evaporates, your skin just disappears, like poof. And you have to have a pad under your legs. The artist who did my electro cautery brands explained to me that the reason they put the pad under you is basically to conduct that electricity through your body so it doesn't, like, I don't know, stop your heart or something. Electro cautery brands are known to produce very even, clean lines. There isn't a lot of surrounding inflammation because there's minimal heat transfer to the surrounding tissue. I only have two of these. They are these crosses on my legs. I would probably not go back for electro cautery, and the reason is I found it very hard to sit. When you're watching, a TV show and somebody gets electrocuted, they kind of flop around, and that's what was happening to me. I was getting electrocuted and I was, like jiggling and shaking. Even though I wasn't experiencing really a lot of pain, it was very hard to sit still, and my artist, unfortunately, had to give me a tongue lashing more than once. Some people refer to electro cautery branding as laser branding. It's not actually laser branding. It's not done with a laser. But I think the reason that they call it this is because it connotes the idea of a laser precision. Fun personal story, I did actually once get branded with a laser. The design was like an anklet of dots. Originally, the branded dots were indented into my skin. They were dark. They looked really cool. I loved it. I completely disappeared within a year. So would not recommend laser branding. And I still don't know if I'm going to die of cancer someday from that. Okay, next kind of branding is solar branding. So just like a cautery pen or electro cautery, this can be free-handed by the artist. The artist uses a crystal to concentrate the sun's rays into a beam to draw that design into your skin with a sun's beam. They can create different thicknesses of lines based on the size of the crystal ball. I don't know a lot about solar branding. I have never gotten a solar brand, but I would recommend this other video on YouTube to see the process actually being done. Something interesting to me about solar branding is I have noticed that a lot of people who have solar brands don't seem to be that focused on the outcome or the quality of the design or intricacy of the design. A lot of them talk about just how meaningful the process was to them. So I can't speak to the aftercare, I can't speak to the quality of design, I can't speak to the risks because I've never gotten solar branding, but I do know that a lot of people who have them seem to be less focused on what it ends up looking like and more focused on the experience of getting it, which maybe for them in some cases is a spiritual or transformative experience. Okay, the famous freeze branding. You can get burned by something very cold, like liquid nitrogen or dry ice. all over the internet, I have heard stories, I've seen pictures of people getting freeze branded. I don't know if it's actually true. I have never met someone in real life with a freeze brand. So even though I've seen photos on Reddit, I can't actually testify to like the fact that it's a real thing or that it's safe or that it's not safe. I know it works very well on cows. Cows get really lovely freeze brands and they heal super well. But to me, this seems very risky. Mock Sebastian. This is another form of branding in which incense is placed on your skin, the incense is burned, creating a brand. This isn't done very much in the West. I don't have one. I don't know anyone that has one. I don't know very much about the pros and cons, but I do know that this has been done for centuries in Asia. You might have seen people with mock Sebastian brands on their heads in kung fu movies. And I believe that there is even a character from the Dragon Ball franchise that has mock Sebastian brands on his forehead. This has been Types of Brands. Thanks for watching this video. Once again, never attempt to brand yourself. Feel free to like and subscribe. I am planning on making more videos about human branding.